Okay, cool. Seems to be working. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney, Resolve is what it is. Where last we left off, we just finished episode 3. Yes. And at the end we have a couple things happening. Interesting. Cosima is alive. Also, his father was a serial killer, so that's fun. Let's see. Not that. Okay. Also, I did find some books to prop up the microphone. So hopefully that's a good thing and I won't have to lean over to ensure that I'm close enough to the microphone for it to be good. Went in the red a little bit, but a little bit's probably fine. Oh yeah, on Wednesday I finished up the Detective Conan game I'd been playing. It turned out there were like less than 20 minutes left of the game, and it was all cutscenes, so it's like, well. That game was not that good, honestly. It's neat and probably fine if you're actually playing on a PlayStation 2 and not trying to stream it, but it's just kind of a... finding where you're meant to go is... well, it's in episode 4. Twisted Karma in his last show. Oh.
Pipe in hand, Sholmes looked down at the thick, rolling fog outside our window. I wonder exactly how many mysteries are out there, hidden within this bed of fog, he said. Indeed, a most bizarre incident, born of a curious advertisement. A hellhound's mad gallop through the shadows of a serial murder. An executed man's graveyard resurrection in the dead of night.
Mm-hmm.
And a commonplace killing in a small, forgotten room at the edge of town. There is, naturally, always another side to every case, of which most remain ignorant. And it is that other side which compels me to the scene of the crime, Wilson. So quickly now, take your hat and let's be on our way, my dear fellow. For our adventure is not over yet. Come, the game is afoot.
Days after that earth-shattering trial and Cosimo regaining his memory. We were in the foyer of one of London's most luxurious hotels, the Great Waterloo Hotel. Alright. 1st of November, 10:24 a.m., the Great Waterloo Hotel foyer. Professor Mikotoba is due to arrive at any moment. Yes! I'm so glad we got here in time. Sato-san hasn't been the same since what happened. Not that I'm surprised. The truth about Cosimo-sama's father. Do you suppose my father knew? That he was actually the mass murderer of the professor, you mean? I knew that's what she was thinking about. There's a good chance, I'd say. I mean, they did come here to London together 16 years ago, didn't they? Yes, that's true. Come to think of it, didn't you say that Professor Mikotoba knew about Kazuma going missing in Hong Kong as well? That's right, but for some reason, he wasn't at liberty to talk to me about it. That probably means he knows then. About Kazuma showing up here in London with amnesia, and that he's regained his memory now. I'm not sure he'd necessarily have known about the memory unless someone told him when he got here. Not sure how easy it is to get messages onto ships. Oh, there she is! Who's this? Oh! Oh, Father! Hello, Sasato. How are you? I'm very well, thank you. We're delighted that you've arrived safe and sound. Hello, Mr. Naruhodo. Very kind of you to take the trouble to meet us here. Here. Oh, no, not at all. It's my pleasure. We've heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know. The news has crossed the seas. It has? I always look forward to reading the monthly reports that arrive with steamships from Britain. Oh, I see. Well, thank you very much. Who is this man? Why do I feel as though I've seen him before? I take it from your expression that you can't quite place me. In that case, how a little reminder, Seishiro, from tap should do it. Yes. A firm tap? What? Here we go then. I hereby pronounce the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, guilty. Oh, you're... The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Your Excellency. Hello, Judge Jigoku. How are you? It's been a long time. Good, you've remembered now. That really did the trick. Guilty. Only I was declared not guilty, wasn't I? There was no laughing at the time. So, London again after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. To be honest, I never thought I'd be back. Neither did I. I didn't imagine Japan would ever be invited to an international synopsium like this. Really, I doubt anyone did, to be honest. And it's all thanks to you, isn't it, Seishiro? What are you talking about, Eugene? Of course, Judge Jigoku. He must have completed the set. He's the other man who, 16 years ago, came to London with Kazuma's father and Professor Mikotoba. He's the third visiting scholar. Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a lot of time. I must say, I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you? I knew you were jealous. Sorry? Ministerial status? Yes, didn't you know? Seishiro here is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. It was his personal insistence that allowed you to take Kazuma's place here on the study tour. Guilty as charged. Oh, well, thank you very much. He's really every bit as important as he looks. Ah, yes, now, Naruhodo. I received a telegram from Lord Strongheart yesterday. Oh, you did? It appears that some things came to light in a trial you were involved with 8 days ago. About what happened 10 years ago. tragedy. Yes, could you tell us any more about it? I want to look around the room. Look at all this stuff. We have the Eiffel Tower. Actually, that's probably the Crystal Tower again, huh? Look at that. It's a picture of the Crystal Tower. Well, the Great Exhibition is one of Britain's most prestigious achievements in recent years. I wonder how tall it is. It really does represent the pinnacle of scientific achievement in so many ways. And there's a 20-meter tall chimney on the bathhouse near my lodgings at UMA University. And the attendant there is always boasting that it's the tallest object in the neighborhood. I'm sure. Did you know that over the channel in Paris, there's a tower that's 300 meters tall? What? How many times taller than the chimney at UMA Soaking Hot Springs is that? And if it's that tall, how does it draw properly? The smoke will get stuck, surely. I don't think it's that sort of tower, Mr. Naruto. You'll see that desk is known as the hotel reception. Anyone wanting to spend the night has to report there to sign in for their stay. Oh, so do you think that's the head clerk behind the desk there? Yes, I'm sure it must be. I'd love to stay in a grand hotel like this for a little while, wouldn't you? Just to know what it's like. If the hotel fee was paid through our stipend, I'm afraid it might bankrupt our homeland. True. London gives the word expensive a whole new meaning. Have you seen all those sparkling jewels up there? They must have gathered every gem in the world for that. It's called a chandelier, I believe. It's designed to provide elegant lighting in large, spacious rooms like this. So they had to gather every gem in the world just to illuminate one room? It's probably electric light bulbs that are actually throwing the light. If I tried to hang something like that from the ceiling in the office, it would be scraping on the floor. I think perhaps chandeliers aren't for you, Mr. Naruto. Flowers. We got some luggage over here. Oh, look at those cases just left there on that trolley. Aren't they worried about thieves? I know I am. Haven't you seen the porter over there? Don't worry, he's obviously keeping an eye on everything. So it's a trap designed to catch any chancers who might be tempted. Oh, you were one of the jurors at one point. Why did the porter give me such a scathing look just now, do you suppose? Well, some might say you look a little suspicious with your jet black clothes. Not everyone clad in black is some sort of ninja with intent to steal, you know. Alright, now we will talk to you. How's it going? So, how was the voyage here? Well, 50 days at sea is a long time by anyone's standards. It wasn't as bad as when we first came 16 years ago. No, it's true. Then I truly wondered if we wouldn't be drifting in the vast ocean for the rest of our lives. This time, we followed the same route as you, so we were able to relax and enjoy the experience. So you stopped in France's beautiful capital, Paris. We did, yes. Only for one night. Yesterday evening, we left the port of Dunkirk for Dover. Just in time for the Synopsium, in fact. It starts tomorrow. It's wonderful that you were invited to attend such an important international event. I'm very proud of you, Father. It's nice to see Shadow here. 16 years ago, he managed to ingratiate himself with Britain's Attorney General. I'm sure that's why he was invited, and I suppose you could say I'm something of an appendage by default. Speak for yourself, Eugene. You were close friends with a professor of forensic science at a major hospital. Yes, well, I'd rather not dredge all that up, really. No, there's been a lot of water under the bridge since then, but it doesn't bring him back. Cosmo's father, I suppose. The professor, the killer who took the lives of 5 members of the British aristocracy, was actually Cosmo's father, wasn't he? That's correct. Genshin Asugi. Genshin. You knew, I presume, Father? Yes. He was a close friend at the time. Genshin came to Britain as a police detective. He was studying investigative techniques at Scotland Yard. I've never understood what drove the man to commit such heinous acts. It was a closed trial, so the public never knew the truth. He was executed with little ado. To this day, very few people know what really happened, even in our homeland. But what about Cosmo? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father? No, of course not. He was told that his father passed from sickness. However, I suspect he may have had his doubts. Oh, why? As you know, I tried to guide Cosmo growing up, as if he were my own son. And one day, he came to my office at the university and said, I've decided I want to travel to Great Britain and study there. Do you think he wanted to come here to investigate his father's death? I don't know. When I looked into his eyes, I did know that there was no way I'd be able to stop him. Something else came to light in that trial the other day, actually. Oh, what? Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and been missing for almost a year, Cosmo since turned up here in London, working as the apprentice of Lord Von Zeeks. What? What? That's news to us. So, Lord Strongheart's telegram neglected to mention that part then. As you know, we both thought Cosmo had died on the steamship during our voyage to Great Britain in January. But he didn't die. He's alive. As you knew, didn't you, Father? In actual fact, no. What I did know was that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, he mysteriously vanished. We sent a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try to ascertain what had happened, but to no avail. But he's still alive, and here in London, you say? I never dared to even dream it. Why on earth did the young man not make contact? The government and police have been chasing clues fruitlessly for months now. Well, it seems that he was suffering from amnesia. What? Amnesia? When we first came across him here again in London, he didn't know who either of us were. I see. He only regained his memory 8 days ago. This is unbelievable. Yes, it's quite miraculous. Wonder why Lord Strongheart didn't let us know. Must speak with him urgently. I wonder how Cosmo's been these past few days. Would it be wrong of us to go and visit him? It began 16 years ago now. It's a distant memory, really. Some of these get introduced by a question being asked, and some of them the question is just in the text prompt. It's not very consistent between those. Hold on. It began 16 years ago now. It's a distant memory, really. With Eugene here, Genshin Asuki, and myself. We were the original three. The first judicial scholars from Japan to travel overseas to study. Ocean voyages were not what they are today, I can tell you. 16 years ago. Things were tough for their generation. Your father was an exceptionally fine medical student at Yume University at the time, you know, young lady. Yes, grandmother told me. I went to do research at a great London hospital to study autopsy, practically unheard of in Japan. Yes, it was an eerie place, sandwiched between the back of a prison and burial ground. Ugh, no more talk of graves. Very often, there's no one willing to deal with bodies following autopsy work. So you see, autopsy labs have something of an unavoidable relationship with graveyards and prisons. Not my cup of tea at all. You remember that Scottish prison governor? Kaiden, his name was. He was a good man. Yes, but then of course, in our 6th year here, everything changed with that dreadful case. When Genshin was arrested for a series of the most gruesome murders. I simply couldn't believe it. I'd known the man for years. I was a witness at the secret hearing when I tried to speak in his defense, but you went a little too far and ended up facing charges yourself, didn't you? Well, suffice to say that after that trial, we were sent back to Japan. There was nothing more we could do to save Genshin. He was a lost cause, sadly. Well, if you'll excuse us now. Yes, I'd like to get this trunk up to my room as soon as possible. Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have held you up here for so long. I'll call for the porter then. Just wait here. Sato-san's gone off at a run. I'd like to stay and talk more, but I do have various preparations to make for tomorrow. Yes, of course. It must be a big responsibility representing our entire country. I wish you the best of luck. Naruhodo. I hope you'll keep an eye on Susato for me. Keep looking after her, as you obviously have been. Oh, no, I mean, if anyone's looking after anyone, it's her looking after me. Well, I do appreciate you being there for her. After all, I've been a miserable father to her. I've thoroughly let her down. Sorry? What do you mean? Well, it was 16 years ago that I started my long study tour here in Britain, as you know. The very year Susato was born. Yes, I heard. The birth of my daughter was the most joyous event of my life, but well, sadly it was accompanied by the most tragic event of my life, too. Oh, yes, Susato-san hinted at something like that. Presumably, the death of her mother, since she doesn't seem to be in the picture at all. It was a rather turbulent time at home. Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. The point is, I became rather less dependable than befits a grown man. And it was then that Seishiro offered me the opportunity to study here in Great Britain. I was too worried about you to leave you behind, so perhaps I was a little heavy-handed when it came to just persuading you to accompany me to London. So, that's what happened in a nutshell. And that's also the reason why I now feel compelled to give my daughter as many opportunities as I dare. The world does not readily afford young women such things, I must say. I completely understand, Professor. One other thing, Naruhodo. If I may be so bold, I have a favor to ask you. Oh, really? Of course. What can I do for you? Well, the thing is, I'm so sorry that took so long. Mr. Sato. Now then, allow us to take your bags. Allow me to take your bags. One moment, if you please, Porter. Of course, sir. That machine around your neck. It's a camera, I believe. Quite right, sir. Just 5 shillings for a lovely photograph to commemorate a wonderful stay at the hotel, sir. Well, I think, given the occasion, we could justify the expense. Oh, yes, of course. No. I'd like to thank you for coming with me, Mr. Naruhodo. It's really made Father very happy, I think. Oh, well, I'm pleased then. But we were interrupted before. Professor Mikotobo was about to ask me something. Shall we return to Baker Street then? I expect Iris will have some delicious tea waiting for us. Yes, let's go. I'm getting more and more anxious about Cosmo, though. Perhaps I'll try to meet with Lord Strongheart later and ask after him. Alright, I looked at the room already. Oh, new location would be the hotel, I suppose. Well, let's head back first. There's a mask on the table, and a paper on the couch, or whatever that is. 1st of November, Sholmes' Suite. I don't know how that is. Who's yelling? What is it? What's that? A man screaming in a most unflattering way. You think... could it have been Mr. Sholmes? Oh my, I do hope not. You don't do it anymore. Mamma mia, mamma mia. So this is a disgraceful display. Who are these people? Their hair, it's bright red. I think they must be clients of Mr. Sholmes. Alright, you two. You'll come with me now, down to the clank. Hold on, Prism. There's a stamp in the dark and I don't like it. Oh, the darkness is my friend. Oh, I'm not scared. But you are always scared of the dark. Shut your mouth, you idiot. Now sit quietly in the dark and plan on next daring heist. I don't like this. I don't like it. Well, tough. We'll finish this down at the yard. Now get moving. Bye then, Ginny. Have fun. Oh yeah, thanks, Iris. And thanks, you're a great detective. Gina makes a fine detective herself, doesn't she? Oh, Susie, and Bruno. Hello, Iris. We're home. Well, did you find your daddy? Yes, we arrived at the hotel just before he and his friend. Oh, well, that's great news. I hope I get to see my daddy again soon. Yes, of course. Dr. John H. Wilson. So, Iris, all that remains now is that greatest of problems known to man. Why are you red? Before we concern ourselves with that, I believe some tea is in order, don't you, my dear fellows? There's something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo. Do I have a crumb or such like on my face? Not so much on your face as on your head, I'd say. Come along then, everyone. I brewed a lovely special blend. Time for tea. Whatever is going on here today? Okay, so the commentary of those people having red hair, like, yes, Sholmes, his hair's not red. We've seen him. It's not red. That's fine. Understandable to react. He reacted to the other two having red hair. But Iris's hair is pink. Which is not a color that people's hair comes in. I don't think quite that red is usually how people's hair is, but it's not that far off. And in that case, let us sit and drink now. For I am, in fact, expecting a guest later today. What are you doing? Mr. Sholmes, who were the two gentlemen that were here before? Were they gentlemen? I think one was a child. Oh, just a pair of petty criminals. Nothing of significance. Of course, they have to make a living somehow. When the mood takes me, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to all manner of infractions. When the mood takes you? All manner of infractions? But when such fellows set their sights on Mr. Herlock Sholmes, well, that's when their luck runs out. Oh my, you were the target of a crime, Mr. Sholmes. But I quickly devised a plan to entrap them and deliver them to our young detective ally. You should have asked Rexy to come too. We could have had an arresting tea party. I did send word, but no answer was forthcoming. Man is constantly in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a word for it, I'm sure. I have it. A bungler, that's a word. It's a good job he's not here to hear you say that. So those redheads have been up to no good. I wonder what the men did. What was that about the greatest of problems known to man that you mentioned before? Is it another fiendishly intricate case, Mr. Sholmes? How should I best explain it? Are you aware of the theory of evolution by natural selection, perchance? Well, I think I've heard talk of it somewhere, possibly. It's a revolutionary scientific theory that was newly proposed 40 years ago now. According to its author, Mr. Darwin, we humans were once apes who lived in the treetops. Oh, wait, what? We were apes? Indeed, and from the very moment those apes descended from the canopy to live as humans, it has been our lot to be at the mercy of the greatest problem known to man. Our lot? What is this great problem, Mr. Sholmes? Why, is it not obvious, my dear madame? The problem of rent. But did you not receive a rather large sum of money from Madame Tussbells only the other day? A large sum? One potted herb for Iris and a new motor car for me later, and all of it has quite disappeared, I assure you. Honestly, Early, you know you squandered it. Yes, well, anyway, 2 days ago, I discovered the answer to man's greatest problem, for the coming month at least. And what was the answer? Why, there is a substantial clue before your very eyes. Don't tell me, let me see. Humans are sorry creatures, unable to see what is in front of their noses. Let me give you some assistance. Don't look, but observe me very closely. There's one particular feature about my person that has changed. You should notice it in the end, I think. In the end? It's been stabbing me in both eyes from the very beginning of our conversation. I think we might need another clue before we uncover the full answer, Mr. Naruhodo. Thanks for the hint. I'll be tearing my hair out if this charade goes on much longer. Mr. Sholmes, isn't it about time you told us the truth? Just over a week ago, you said to us. I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that. A case aboard the SS Buria in January. Cosima wasn't killed, and you knew he wasn't dead at the time. So what was really going on? The fellow was unconscious for a very long time. If he hadn't regained consciousness when he did, his life would have been in mortal peril. Of course, the side effect of the prolonged comatose state was amnesia, as you now know. It was a simple enough task to silence the crew. But how? After they'd carried him out of the cabin, I assembled them in the lobby area. Then I made them swear to leave him unconscious and have him unlaid from the ship in Hong Kong as a murdered corpse. How horrible! It was necessary to find some material with which to persuade the crewmen to keep their word, of course. But why? Why do it in the first place? I will be at liberty to elaborate in due course. But for the time being, I would like to reassure you. I didn't foresee subsequent events. What events? His disappearance in Hong Kong. Oh. I believe I may have made a gross error of judgment. Mr. Sholmes. Alright. Yes, now we need to look around the room. Presumably check out the 2 obvious new objects in here. The mask Cosimo wore when he was assigned to Lord Von Zeeks as his apprentice. When he cast it aside after the trial the other day, I just sort of picked it up. We ought to give it back to him, I suppose. But he has his memory back now, doesn't he? And I can't help feeling he might turn around and tell me coldly to wear it myself. But isn't he your best friend? This looks like last week's edition. What's that article circled in red ink there? It's in an advertisement column. It says, "To the Red-Headed League." The Red-Headed League? What's that? I don't know. I've never heard of it before, but... There's something on my face. Clearly this has something to do with that lively hair. The Red-Headed League article has been entered into the court record. An advertisement from the paper that's entitled "To the Red-Headed League" seems somewhat suspicious in nature. Okay. To the Red-Headed League, on account of the bequest of the late Ezekiel Hopkins of Lebanon, PA, USA, there is now another vacancy open which entitles a member of the League to a salary of £4 a week for purely nominal services. All red-headed men who are sound in body and mind above the age of 21 years are eligible. Apply in person on the morning of the 31st at the large park on Lime Street. Get €4 a week if you are a redhead. I see. And so he has dyed his hair for it. That says theory of miasma is soundly rejected. Okay, talking about germ theory. Despite the condition of the city of London itself of late, it's a positive year so far with public health. Fewer cases of consumption. Drink only water which has previously been boiled. I suppose you want me to present... Whoops, no. Present this to you. Look at this. It looks as though someone circled an advertisement in this paper, Mr. Sholmes. The Red-Headed League? Does that strike you in some way? I was thinking that just maybe it might be related to your bright red hair. So, at last you've learnt to apply my methods, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? In the first instance, and quite indispensable, observation. Believe me, I could have seen that hair with my eyes shut. So then, allow me to regale you with the details of my latest exploits. Regale or boast? So, what is the Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you've circled? You noticed it in the paper, then? That, my dear fellows, was going to be the source of this month's rent payment. It was? How? According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellows of unspecified governance. In fact, the only condition for becoming a member is having red hair. That doesn't entirely surprise me. Oh, listen to what the lucky redheads receive once they join. An unconditional salary of £4 a week. Oh my, £4 a week? But why? What are they paying people for? That I don't know. No details were given in the advertisement. But surely every red-headed person in the country would be flocking to join in that case. You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll put in my application at once. So will I, just on the off chance. Might be stretching a point, I think. The trouble is, I have a fixed number of members, you see. Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people have joined, no one else can. But as luck would have it, one member recently passed away. It wasn't particularly lucky for the redhead in question, I feel, Mr. Sholmes. So you decided to try to join in his place. Correct. I mean, look at me. Have you ever seen such a red-headed fellow? No. So why did it have to go so wrong? What on earth happened? A blunder, Mr. Naruhodo, though it pains me to admit it. What did you actually do to your hair, Mr. Sholmes? Well, I'm glad you asked, Mrs. Sato. What you see atop my head is neither dyed nor a hairpiece. I changed the color of my hair overnight by the wonders of chemistry. Chemistry? How is that not dyed? I was conducting some research into a method of rejuvenating spent tea leaves. And in the course of my work, I stumbled upon a potion that, when taken, turns one's hair flame-like red. You drank it? Would you like to try it? It will make every hair on your body perfectly crimson. I think I'll pass. But, Mr. Sholmes, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, isn't it? Oh, amateurs always hampered by such fears. Oh, I should never have doubted you, Mr. Sholmes. You mean to say... But of course, to earn £4 a week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to a little danger. That degree of red signals more than just a little danger, surely. So anyway, Ellie left full of confidence yesterday with his new red hair. For the park on Lime Street, where the Red-Headed League were interviewing prospective new members. So, what went wrong? The whole park was choked with red-headed folk, like a coaster's orange barrow. I queued up for 8 hours solid before at last I reached the front. When the panel of interviewers saw me, he immediately said, "Ah, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, are you in disguise to conduct an investigation?" So, naturally, I had no choice but to reply, "Shh, don't give me away." After which, I could do little else but turn and leave. And this morning, when I looked in the mirror, irritation stirred within me. So I turned that pair into the police. Oh dear, what a disaster. For Hurley and those two redheads. Wait, what'd they do? Mr. Sholmes, you mentioned before that you were expecting a guest today. Indeed, Mr. Sato, that is correct. Not another of those red-headed gentlemen that were here before. Not at all. They were petty villains. The guest I'm expecting is a client. Oh. A young gentlewoman who wishes to appoint the services of this great detective, no less. Oh, how wonderful, Mr. Sholmes. You must stay and observe the fashion in which a great detective receives his customers. Must we? I have you in my clutches now, Rent. Just as I have you in my clutches, or just as I have you in my clutches, redheads. That hearty laugh is masking rather sinister thoughts, I feel. You know, the lady isn't due for another howl yet. Don't feel as though you must wait around here if you have other things to do. Didn't really look like there was much else to look at. There's so much in this room. Don't exactly want to look at everything every time. Oh, we can check up here. How's it going? 1st of November, Naruhodo's legal consultancy. Nothing's here. This is just, do you need help? You can talk to Sasato here. I wanted to speak with you about what the hell is happening. This guy's here too. 1st of November, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. Here's the final draft of the opening address for tomorrow's proceedings. I've supplemented your original with the figures you asked for from the yard. Let's see. Excellent work, thank you. You're welcome, my lord. What's Lord Von Zeke's doing here? Sounds like he's on a case. Why? There seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air, wouldn't you say? This place is stifling enough as it is. We really don't need any more tension. Apologies, I didn't notice you come in. Your small stature and dark dress make you all but invisible to me. Oh, no, it's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure. From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe whenever you come here. Now then, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, my lord. I'm right here. Kill me now. Something wrong. Perhaps it is a little too hot in here for you. Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I've never experienced a room at such a perfect temperature. If you're sure, the beads of sweat carving their way down your face seem to suggest otherwise. Is it the daggers you're staring at me with mainly? As you're no doubt aware, my internal forensic science synopsium begins tomorrow. My international forensic science synopsium begins tomorrow. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madame. Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited. I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands, then, Lord Von Zeeks. I will attend at once. He gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he? I know, but I haven't done anything, have I? These past few days, my feet have barely touched the ground, I must say. My dedicated right hand of many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left hand still of service? Mr. Naruhodo, he's talking about Dr. Scythe. Of course. I'm terribly sorry about that. I was just, You're not. You've done nothing wrong. Dr. Scythe's own wrongdoing precipitated the situation. You needn't concern yourself with it any further. That would be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stare you're giving me. Lord Von Zeeks is doing an admirable job of holding the fort. Though disturbingly, his apprentice has been missing since yesterday. Oh, missing? What's become of Cosmo-sama now? Not long ago, visitor numbers to the Grand Exhibition exceeded 30 million. The 30 million? Are there even that many people in the world? As a comparison, Mr. Naruto, the population of the imperial capital of Tokyo is 2 million. I will be opening the International Forensic Science Synopsium in the exhibition's main auditorium. This event has been 2 years in the making. 2 years of preparations and negotiations with other countries. It sounds like a tremendous achievement. Congratulations. In the 20th century will see the wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques. Cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential. Which is why this landmark first synopsium had to be hosted here, the heart of our great British Empire, in order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigative organization in the New World. Something I've never quite gotten is why it's called Scotland Yard. Scotland is a different country. There's probably a reason to it, I've just never looked it up. He's the same as ever, I see. The passion of his is quite something. You're every bit as passionate in your own way, I'm sure, Mr. Naruto. I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science. It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General and reform the Yard from the ground up. So, the disgrace of the forensic investigation team has... Oh. He wasn't moving his mouth, I think. So, the disgrace of the forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions. I first established the forensic investigation team a year ago, experimentally to start with. Dr. Scythe at the helm, was steadily accruing an impressive record of achievement. It was on the verge of changing its name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department. And can you not do that now? Obviously, nobody wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can't keep the story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. This incident set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I'd say. Unintended repercussions of our trial. We simply couldn't have overlooked what had happened, though. Of course not. I shall be grateful to you both. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policing when I become Attorney General. This might delay plans, but it won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way. About Lord Von Zeke's apprentice. Ah, yes. That came as a surprise to me, I must say. That you and he are old friends. How did he become an apprentice to Lord Von Zeke's in the first place? Came about 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by border police. They found him hiding aboard a large goods vessel. Oh my! So he stowed away to get here. He had no papers to identify him, no passport, and he was suffering from amnesia too. Other than the fact that he was clearly of Eastern descent, there were no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Von Zieks. That way I could keep an eye on him.
But then, why the mask?
I didn't want to burden Lord Von Zieks with tiresome explanations about why he had an Eastern appearance.
Because it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask.
It's proving to be a great help to Lord Von Zieks. I have high hopes for his future.
By the way, do you know where he's gone?
No idea, but I believe he's left London for the time being.
Oh.
I take it you also didn't know. That the man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, I mean.
Genji Nasugi. What we learned from that trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out my friend's father was...
yes. Genji Nasugi. Professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Britain.
They were such awful murders and unprecedented, using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon.
No one would have believed the culprit was a foreign student invited to study here by the government. So the true identity of the killer couldn't be made public then. It can't be made public now. Nobody in your country knows it was him. Neither do the citizens of London.
The main motivation was to avoid aggravating relations between our two nations at the time, I understand.
Correct. However, it has to be noted that there were some supporters of the professor's apparent cause.
What supporters of a mass murderer?
The majority of the man's victims were a blight on the aristocracy of the day. Somewhat ironically, and the deaths actually benefited society as a whole. Unsurprising, aristocracy is kind of a problem. Just in general. Or so a fair few thinkers in London believed, anyway.
Right, I see. But it was still murder, wasn't it? It seems very similar, doesn't it?
Hold on. Okay, that's not on my screen. Just part of the image, I suppose. I think I've noticed that before, actually. There's just a line coming down from that.
To the idea of the Reaper of the Bailey.
Nothing else to be said to you, I suppose. You're not leaving, so I suppose maybe we have to come back at some point and show you something we find. Nothing really in here. I only have the paper. You don't think you care about that. We can head back to the hotel. No. Alright, you had a person showing up, so after we talk to... Aha! Here's my guest now! My latest client with money to spend.
Oh, I do hope it's an exciting case, Hurley.
Remember, Iris, we are at present gripped by the greatest problem known to man. I must be willing to accept any case, no matter how understimulating. Save locating a runaway, of course.
Don't spare anyone's feelings, will you? Oh dear, I'm afraid that Hurley can lack a little tact, especially just before the rent is due.
Ooh. Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, please, oh please. Please find my husband. He's run away. Oh, upset me. I beg your pardon. Never mind. Personal matter. My apologies. What exactly are you trying to say, Mr. Naruhodo?
I didn't say a word.
Come, my dear madame, be seated. Iris, some tea, if you please.
Of course. What's the matter, Mrs. Sato? Oh, it's just that gentlewoman. I feel sure I've seen her somewhere before. Very recently.
Yeah, she was one of the jury members.
Yes, now you come to mention it.
As I explained earlier, my name's Evie Vigil. I implore you to take the case, sir. Money's no object. Simply name your figure. Money and wealth are of little consequence to me, madam. Being offered a case to solve is reward enough. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you're the picture of benevolence. I will, of course, make a mental note of your offer, however, for contingent reasons. I trust you will remember your words also. If I might inquire, sir. This gentleman and lady would be...
Oh, me.
What I am about to tell you, I should like to communicate in the strictest confidence, you understand? Oh, these are my friends. I assure you, you may say before this pair anything which you may say to me. Ah, I see. I can vouch for the gentleman personally. After all, he is hard of hearing.
Why did I ever get my hopes up?
It's our job to ask her what's going on.
Forgive me for asking, Mrs. Vigil, but have we met somewhere before? Quite recently, perhaps?
Oh my! My dear fellow, what is your intention? Clearly, you have no ability to differentiate the facial features of the English. If you wish to invite the lady to tea, you must do so in a more gentlemanly fashion. Is it possible that you're the nice young lawyer for the trial I attended last week?
I knew I recognized her.
To have a man's fate in the palm of one's hand. Oh gosh, oh golly, it sends shivers down my spine.
I didn't quite recognize her because she's acting so differently now.
It must be very difficult for you as a lawyer, being hard of hearing, I mean.
Pardon?
Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Don't worry if you can't hear. It was frippery, really, nothing more.
Now look what you've started, Mr. Scholes. Thank you very much.
I believe it would be prudent for you to sit quietly in the corner.
Yes.
Tell us about your husband, madam. Mr. Vigil, my daily, is 40 years of age. I have a photograph here. An entirely unremarkable gentleman, by appearance at least. How long have you been married? It will be 15 years this year. We have a cordial relationship. My husband's income is more than adequate, so we live quite comfortably. As it would appear, I need only look at you to know these things. Oh gosh! Your dress is the latest style, your hat clearly regularly groomed, and your eyes are animated. In short, you have no inkling as to why your husband might have disappeared, correct? That's right. He's a kind man, with a strong sense of loyalty, and he rather dotes on me. Which would point to the possibility that he has become embroiled in some incident or other.
Oh, that is exactly what I fear must have happened, Mr. Sholmes. I'm quite beside myself.
My husband's employment is somewhat unusual, you see.
What if he's incurred some miscreant's ill will?
What exactly is your husband's line of work?
He's a warder at the prison.
A guard? That is somewhat unusual.
So, your husband is a prison warder?
That's right, yes. Well, no, in actual fact, he's the chief warder.
Indeed, I see. Well, chief prison warder certainly qualifies as something of a specialist occupation.
Yes, it does indeed. My poor husband must prepare those dreadful punishments and see that they're carried out.
Dreadful punishments? Does she mean capital punishments?
And at such times, he must occasionally spend a night or two in the prison dormitory. But for that extra responsibility, he's remunerated more handsomely than the other warders. Of course, we make no mention of my husband's work to the neighbors.
Yes, I believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, at what prison is your husband engaged?
Barclay Prison, Mr. Sholmes.
Really? Barclay? Oh, a fine establishment. If I'm not mistaken, there's a large cemetery just behind it. Right, it's the one that came up in the case.
Yes, that's correct. Lowgate Cemetery.
No. Lowgate Cemetery? The very place we were discussing in court. That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable, my dear fellow, and yet undeniable.
He either just says things out loud when he doesn't mean to, or everyone is a mind reader. Sorry, Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid you've lost me.
Oh, pay no heed, madame, pay no heed. Private matter.
This can't really be a coincidence, can it?
So, what's the matter of your husband's disappearance? When did you realize he was missing?
Please try not to laugh. It was yesterday.
I'm sorry, yesterday.
That really is recent, laughably so.
The truth is, my husband does at times have occasion to spend the night away for his work. It's not all that out of the ordinary for him not to return home at night, but this is different. For him not to make any contact for a whole day, that has certainly never happened before.
Did you, stop by the prison first to just be like, hey, is he there? Just want to make sure.
Oh, my dear Daly, whatever can have happened?
Daly. My dear Mrs. Vigil, please, calm yourself. Now then, have you contacted the police?
Why, naturally, but sadly, they refuse to listen to my pleas as my husband has only been missing for 1 day. I was asked to wait patiently at home.
In truth, Mrs. Vigil, I concur with the police. However, let us not be hasty. I see no reason why we should not engage my deductive powers to track your husband down anyway.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes.
And furthermore, let me assure you, a chance to solve the greatest problem known to man for another month has no bearing on my decision. I seek only to put a sweet smile on another Londoner's face. That's really all there is to it. You have my eternal gratitude. I shall pay any sum you care to mention.
You seek only to put this suite's rent in your landlady's purse. That's all there is to it.
Thank you for everything you have shared with us, Mrs. Vigil. I believe I have all the information I need to begin my investigation. Oh, please report to me soon with good news, sir. Fear not, madame. In a day or two, I shall be contacting you with a heartening report, I'm quite sure. Or we'll find him dead. So soon? Oh, how splendid, Mr. Sholmes. Good news should be delivered early, as I always say. If you would be so kind as to leave the photograph of your husband in my possession. The photograph of Mr. Vigil has been entered in the court record. Photographic print received from Mrs. Vigil in order to aid with locating her missing husband. He appears to have no particularly distinctive facial features. Thank you. Now allow me to show you the door. I can't thank you enough, Mr. Sholmes. You've been simply marvelous.
You know, I think it every time, Early. But how do you come out with such nonsense? Good news in a day or two, are you sure?
I can't be sure, of course, but then I didn't swear on it. I merely gave the good woman some hope. I do hope to be able to give her the good news, one might say. After all, the rent must be paid by the end of day tomorrow. If by that time I've successfully located Mr. Vigil, we shall be mutually relieved. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo?
Don't look at me with those pleading eyes.
Oh, my dear fellow, did you hear the details of the case?
Yes, my hearing is surprisingly good, actually.
Excellent. And what did you make of it?
Well, I was surprised to learn where her husband worked. At Barclay Prison, I mean.
Oh, so you noted that.
Of course, especially with the mention of Lowgate Cemetery.
Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison. So it was renowned among us students as the universe at the university for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts.
Barclay Prison is where that notorious man was incarcerated. Professor.
And now water from the prison has mysteriously disappeared, it would seem.
It's all very peculiar.
Indeed. But nothing you can't handle, I'm quite certain, Mr. Naruhodo.
Sorry?
Run along to the prison and see what you can glean. Would you? It's the prison governor you want. No doubt the man is equally worried.
But aren't you going to go yourself?
Surely you needn't ask. I can't possibly be seen out with this hair. Maybe get another hat.
But didn't you go to Lime Street with that hair?
That was a quite different matter. So I leave it in your capable hands. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm rather busy.
Of course you are.
Oh then. A new location's been added. The office of the governor of Barclay Prison, which stands behind Lowgate Cemetery. I have been working on getting my Sims game updated. I've updated the game itself. I'm just working through the mods that I have. I've got to sort them better at some point, but that's part of what I'm doing here. Gotta make sure they're updated and then put them in reasonable locations with my spreadsheet. Keep things generally organized.
Arklay Prison is on the outskirts of London, backing onto a lonely burial ground. Its 4 high outer walls loomed quietly before us in the fog. Having requested a meeting, we were shown to the governor's office in the watchtower.
What the hell is wrong with this person? I don't think you can make a clock like that. That seems dangerous. It's here for cutting off people's hands. You're even torturing your bird. Why would you do that? First of November, Barclay Prison Governor's Office. Well, this place is full of hardened criminals. I cannot remember the last time a civilian was done here. Okay, that's definitely a very distinct accent that I do not know what it should sound like. It's definitely some very peculiar accent. Very particular. I don't know what it would be to sound like. Place full of hardened criminals. I can't remember the last time a civilian was down here. Something like that, maybe. And you didn't want to talk to an inmate but me. Ooh, that's a face. Do you ken who I am? I'm the Governor, Barry Hyden.
Oh, yes, it's a pleasure. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer.
An Easterner, I see. What's that mean?
Yes, I'm a visiting student of law from the Empire of Japan.
Japan? Did you say Japan?
Yes.
Alright. Well, there's no any kind in here, laddie. Maybe you should try the prison next door, eh?
I didn't notice another prison next door, sir. Anyway, we came to ask you some questions about...
Didn't I like to be so direct, but... no intention of speaking with the likes of you suspicious-looking Easterners. Now get out of my hair. What's that meant to be, like, Scottish? What's a Scottish accent sound like? I don't know. I think maybe most of the adult characters in How to Train Your Dragon had Scottish accents, but I don't remember any of that particularly well. It's been a while since I've seen that movie. I never did see the sequels because there was some TV show that I was trying to watch, but then it changed the name, so the recording thing didn't catch it, and then I just missed all of it, and I was like, and I didn't watch the other two.
So, as soon as he finds out that we're from Japan, he reacts like this. That surely means... I think it's because of the professor case. You think so too? 10 years ago, Kenshin Asagi, also known as the Professor, was incarcerated at this prison. And then, after his execution, he apparently re-emerged from his grave in the cemetery behind the prison.
I might have known! You're sniffing around about that case, aren't you? Your agents there, part of the Professor's great web, no doubt.
No, not at all. We're just...
Go on with you, before I punch your lights out.
We're going. Clearly the ghost of that killer still haunts this place. We're not going to get anywhere here. Unless we can somehow prove to this man that there's nothing suspicious about us. Governor Kaiden. What are you thinking, Mrs. Sato? I feel sure that name came up in conversation recently somewhere. I was wondering if whoever mentioned him might have some ideas to help us. Come to think of it, I have the same feeling.
It was,
So get out!
Oh. Okay. I think you said something about him, right? Oh, 'cause it gotta... No? Maybe he was over here. No one is here. Who? Was it any of you? Hello.
That's Professor Mikoto over there.
Oh, hello you two. I'll just take a moment to catch up on the world now that I'm unpacked.
But where's Judge Jikoku?
Yes, he's not the relaxing sort. He's taken himself off to pay his respects to all the legal bigwigs.
Having only just arrived in the country today. Goodness, he's full of energy. Professor, you mentioned something before. About how you'd known the prison governor at Barclay Prison.
Oh, Governor Kaiden, you mean?
So it is the same man. Father, we must speak with the governor. But he refused to talk to us. He said we were suspicious Easterners.
Well, I'm sure if I accompanied you, it would be a very different story.
Oh, would you? That would be wonderful, if you have time now.
Sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy at the moment.
Is he drinking coffee in a comfortable settee?
I don't know, I've rather a lot to prepare for tomorrow, you know.
Oh, sorry. I didn't say that out loud, did I? You mean Kotobas are alarmingly good at reading people's thoughts? Or could it be that you Naruhodos are alarmingly bad at hiding your thoughts?
Let's not fall out now, I have an idea.
What's he writing on that piece of paper?
Here's a letter of introduction for you. Hopefully when he sees my name, he'll change his tune.
Thank you.
Letter of introduction has been entered into the court record. Note of introduction on our behalf from Professor Mikoto to Governor Kaiden. Hopefully he'll now be willing to talk to us. Good luck then. Check this out.
If you just cast your eyes over this, Governor Kaiden.
What's this then? You can't pull the wool over my eyes, you good-for-nothing Japanese student. Mikoto. That young jock from the forensic laboratory. That's Mikoto.
Yes, exactly, him. Oh dear. Perhaps I should have said something sooner. I'm Eugene Mikotoba's daughter, Susato.
Jeez, you're the young man's daughter. And you didn't think to mention that before?
I do apologize.
Well, you'd best take a seat then. Can I offer you a cup of tea, perhaps? Then I forgot to try one of these wee handcuff biscuits.
Your father's influence is nothing short of amazing. I'm bitterly regretting not announcing who I was from the outset now.
So then, what can I do for you, Anne?
Well, we're currently investigating a case. It's one of your warders, you see. He's gone missing.
Missing?
That's right. It's surely been reported to you as well, being the prison governor.
I've never heard of this sort. There's no missing persons in my prison.
Oh, but how can that be? It's Mr. Daily Vigil, your chief warder.
Vigil?
That's right. His wife came to us and asked us to investigate his disappearance. Let's skip the part about him only going missing yesterday for now. Clearly, that means something to him. Would you be so kind as to tell us what you know, sir?
Aye, of course.
We understand that Mr. Vigil is the chief warder here at the prison.
Aye, he was. Strong sense of responsibility and dedicated to the job, no doubt about it. He was a fine warder. Was.
Sorry, did you say was?
Aye. He doesn't work here anymore. He left the job.
Oh my. When was this exactly?
There's a question. When was it about? Can't it be much less than 10 years ago now? Goodness. And she never, came here and checked? I mean, you wouldn't while things seem to be going fine, but I don't know. Once he's disappeared, you're like, oh, well, maybe I'll just go over there and take a look.
What? 10 years ago? He stopped working here 10 years ago?
Aye, as I mind it. Do you ken? I have never heard the fellow's name in all that time. I'm definitely absolutely mangling whatever he's saying. I think his accent's meant to be Scottish. But I don't know what Scottish sounds like. Not to worry if he's gone missing, though.
But Mrs. Vigil made no mention of it. I think perhaps, Mr. Naruhodo, that his wife simply doesn't know. I think she's unaware that he no longer works here. Governor Kaiden, can you tell us what happened? Why did Mr. Vigil give up his job here?
That's important, is it?
Yes, I believe it may be. What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo? I can't help wondering, given that it was 10 years ago. Which was exactly when the professor was being held at this prison. So Mr. Vigil actually resigned from the position of Chief Warder 10 years ago, you're telling us? What happened to make him leave the job?
Botched execution, maybe. In actual fact, he didn't leave a job willingly. He had no choice in the matter.
You mean he was dismissed?
It was after a particular walk.
Sorry, a walk?
Aye, that's all we're avoiding here. Walk to the gallows.
An execution.
It's the job of the chief warder to prepare the gallows tree and oversee any executions, you see. Only, Vigil did something unthinkable on that last walk he was manning.
What did he do?
I'm sorry, but can I reveal that information? I can tell you that it's very rare for a chief warder to be relieved of his post.
But why wouldn't Mrs. Vigil know about it? She appears to be under the impression that her husband still works here.
I wouldn't I ken anything about that, I'm afraid. I feel like he's going to keep showing up. So maybe, before I stream this again, when I'm done, I'll have to find Scottish accent. Just general. Figure that out.
Can you perhaps answer one more question about the circumstances of his dismissal?
And what would that be, Anne?
That last execution that Mr. Vigil was responsible for overseeing. Was it, by any chance, the professor's? My thoughts exactly.
I'm sorry, I really am. I'm at no liberty to answer that.
I see. My father came to Britain all those years ago in order to study forensic medicine. But you seem to have been well acquainted.
The dead room, the prison, and the cemetery have a lot to do with one another. After all, any fresh corpses from forensic research, do you ken?
Yes, I can imagine. The advancement of medical science isn't always particularly palatable.
My father worked in the laboratory just on the far side of the graveyard. In the basement of St. Sinners. Still in use today.
St. Sinners. That's come up before, I'm sure. Yes, that's right. We've been there.
Kotoba and I, after riding a carriage together, after used to ride in a carriage together and negotiate terms.
For more fresh material, I suppose.
Aye, man, we used to sit in here for hours and gab about dissections and all sorts. Oh, shit takes me back. A pot of tea and a plate of cuff biscuits, of course.
How charming.
He was a good fellow, your father. Reliable, dead set on his work. Afraid. I'll never understand you Japanese.
Because of Genji Nasuki, I suppose.
Well. Can't I tell you anything else?
Thank you so much for your time, Governor.
Oh, one moment before you away, Anne. I'm sure I have it here somewhere. Ah, found it. Here. Like, this is a wee souvenir of your visit to the prison. City of London Police something certificate?
What is it?
It's Vigil's dismissal notice. It's 10 years old now, of course.
Oh my, are you sure?
It's no trouble at all. It's not the original, mind. Vigil's dismissal notice has been entered into the court record. A harsh reprimand incurred by Mr. Vigil 10 years ago that resulted in him losing his job as chief warder of Barclay Prison.
Thank you very much, Governor Kaiden.
Well, in return, do me a favor, never come back here. That case is closed.
Well, I think we ought to return to Baker Street for the time being.
Yes, I agree. We need to report back to Mr. Sholmes with what we found out about Mr. Vigil. What will he tell Mrs. Vigil, I wonder?
I do want to look at the room.
Look, we have an opportunity here now while the governor is away.
Mr. Naruhodo, you could be imprisoned if you were caught.
That's a good point. Perhaps not then.
Perhaps not. What, sit at his desk? Oh, perhaps not look at the whole room. I see. First of November, Sholmes' suite.
We're back.
Hello, you two.
Oh, you. Oh, you too. I thought you'd be back before long, so I baked some scones for us all. So that's what the deliciousness...
Greetings, my dear fellows. You returned a good deal sooner than I was anticipating. I think the blue does look nicer than the red, at least.
Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
Hello, Mr. Jones.
Say nothing, your thoughts are written all over your faces in any case. Turns out that it may have been advisable to test my hair color restoration tonic before application.
Oh my.
Pray tell me, what of our warder friend? Have you garnered some new information?
Oh, yes, something very surprising, in fact. Though it's not a patch on your hair, to be honest.
It most certainly isn't, but still, we discovered that
Sholmes! Who's... Oh, you.
Drop everything, Sholmes. This is more important. Gina.
I can't Adam and Eve it.
What's happened?
Only a very grave matter indeed. Mr. Strahd made no mention of my hair whatsoever. It's the boss.
What do you mean? Inspector Gregson?
Boss is... He's dead.
What?
They just found his body shot with a pistol.
What?
But, Inspector Gregson?
He was murdered?
No, Craigsy. Come in, my dear girl. Tell us the whole story.
Are you serious, Gina? Inspector Gregson was... He was really shot?
I don't know much about what's happened myself yet. They're still there, investigating the scene. How did this take place? A little rented room in a building full of flats on Fresno Street. The outskirts of town. No one near his home. He was perhaps investigating a case then. The thing is, no one at the yard knows nothing about no case around there.
Oh, how strange.
The boss was... It was so good to me. I know I ain't up to much yet, but... One day I was gonna show him I become a proper detective.
Oh, Jenny. So, who did this? Do you have any idea who the culprit is? I got him already.
Already?
They've caught the shooter so soon? Oh, this reporter something was going on, and the boys got straight down there and they took care of him. And took care of him.
Oh, what awful person did this?
I still can't believe it myself.
Gina.
It was the Reaper.
Wait a minute. You don't mean they've arrested Lord Von Zeeks for it?
That's right. The Reaper bloke's gone and shot the boss.
No, Lord Von Zeeks.
Are you quite sure, Mrs. Strahd? It's Bardock von Zeeks the police arrested.
I saw him with my own eyes in the interview room at the yard.
I don't believe it.
There were witnesses, and they're all saying it was him.
So you mean there were actually multiple witnesses?
They had the gunshot, apparently. And when our lot got to the scene, there was only the boss and that Reaper bloke in the room.
There's no way Lord Von Zeeks would have taken Gregson's life. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it either.
Thank you for informing us, Mrs. Strahd. This really is most terrible news. I'm dreadfully sorry.
What are you saying sorry for? You didn't do nothing. Well, anyway, I'm taking a cab over to the scene right now. Please come in all as soon as you can. You gotta help.
It's the detective's lot to appear when some sinister plot is unfolded. Little wonder we all look so haggard. Sometimes, these things are almost too much for the nerves.
Mr. Sholmes. What use is there in being a great detective if I fail to see something like this coming? How could this has to happen to Gregson? To Gregson?
As to Naruhodo, I shall leave at once to begin my investigations.
Of course, yes, we will too.
It would be helpful if you could talk to Mr. Reaper and see what you can glean. I'm sure you were intending to do so anyway. Till later then.
Inspector Gregson dead, and Lord Von Zeeks arrested. Oh no, Susie! I've called you a handsome. It's waiting outside. Thanks, Iris. Shall we, Mrs. Otto? Yes.
Hold on a second. Yeah, that sure did stop it. My headphone wire's been a little off. I've managed to pull it out, I believe. Or not out, but out of place, and it disconnected. Seems to have stopped all the audio, maybe once it reconnects. Ooh, it's not doing that. Well, let me... Oh, never mind. It's just stopped the music. So probably once I reach a new room and it needs to play some new music, it should be fine then. Hopefully. New location's been added. Actually, let me save first in case it doesn't do that and I have to redo it. Just to make sure the audio is good. Unless maybe it was meant to cut off at that point and I wasn't. It seemed very sudden and it came with the electrical clicking noise. So probably not. First of November. Local prison, cell 1.
There he is. Lord Von Zieks behind bars. So it's true. He really was arrested. He's sitting with his back to the wall, reading something. I don't think he's noticed us. Lord Von Zieks.
Fancy meeting you here. The last place on Earth I'd like to be. Or the last person on Earth I'd like to see.
I couldn't very well not come. We heard what happened. That Inspector Gregson was...
Go home. This has nothing to do with you.
But... Forgive me, Lord Von Zieks, but I must disagree. Something's stuck on my screen. Inspector Gregson was very helpful to us on a number of occasions. We're indebted to him. At the very least, we owe it to him to find out the truth about his death. You must help us with our investigations, please.
There's really nothing I can tell you.
What were you just reading at the back of the cell there? Was it something related to the case?
This, the yard isn't quite so cavalier with its information as to share case details with the suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance.
Oh, who might that be?
Someone you know, as it happens. Albert Harebrain.
Of course, yes. I keep forgetting they went to the same university.
And I would like to read my correspondence in peace. So let's get this over with, shall we? What is it you want to know?
Strange. I mean, let's face it, Lord Von Zieks never minces his words. But they seem to have less bite than usual somehow.
They do appear to have taken his sword, which makes sense.
Can you at least tell us your side of the story, Lord Von Zieks? What happened?
How much do you already know?
We know that the inspector was shot dead in a small rented room on Fresno Street. And that you were found there by the police when they arrived on the scene and immediately arrested. We were told that there was nobody else in the room and that some witnesses heard the gunshot.
Then you're well informed. And there's really nothing I can add. Truth is, I don't know what happened myself.
But the gunshot! Obviously you didn't fire the gun, did you?
I'm not in the habit of shooting the people I work alongside. I also heard the noise. However, before I had a chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers.
So he doesn't actually know what happened. If I might ask, what were you doing in that place to begin with?
I don't need to answer that.
Oh.
After all, you're not representing me.
He is going to need a lawyer, though.
Oh dear. Oh, goodbye, the game. Goodbye, the game. Why did that happen? The whole thing just crashed, apparently. I've not had that happen before. Well, I just saved a little before getting there, so that's good. Huh. Well, I suppose I will speed through the dialogue left, and we will get back to that. I don't know why. I don't know why that happened. Yes, I know. I know. No, you don't have to do it so slow. I read it, and then the game died. Please stop. I can't skip through it. I don't know why that happened. That was very odd. It hasn't crashed before. I feel like my headphones did disconnect during that. I wonder if that might be the issue. If disconnecting them like causes a problem for the game. I suppose that would make sense, but I don't feel like it should crash the whole thing. Most things just stop playing audio in general when that happens. You might have to restart it, but it shouldn't crash. Like... Shoot. Oh well. Gotta get back to where I was. Anyway. I guess I should save more often. This hasn't happened before, but... probably good to check every now and then. Save the game. Hopefully button presses aren't too annoying. I just kind of mash it and maybe hold it off to the side. Get back to what I was doing. Didn't mess up stream, did it? Huh? You get back to that. Can I keep mashing button while I'm checking things? I sure can't. I mean, it looks okay. Looks like it's probably fine. Audio still... alright, whatever. I should say something. I still don't have a game to play on Wednesdays yet. Haven't looked into it properly since I finished the Conan game. Until I figure that out, I can always just put more Ace Attorney in there, but... I should probably find something. I was thinking I could try streaming Celeste. I've seen playthroughs of it, but... platformers are fun. Okay, now we're back to where we were, and we're going to save the game in case it dies for no reason again. Okay. Who is going to be representing you in court, Lord Von Zieks? Anyone other than you, I should imagine. Would I be right in assuming that you have no representation as yet? Defense lawyers shy away from any trial involving the Reaper, as I'm sure you know. But
this is different.
In my career, all of the defendants I prosecuted, only in my career, of all the defendants I prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted. Of them, 16 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked now.
Surely not.
I assure you, no defense lawyer will want to touch me with the end of a barge pole.
But you didn't actually have anything to do with those people's deaths, did you?
It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper for Bailey. Believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of this killer more than I. However, it seems things may come to a head before I have the chance to uncover the truth about that.
What does he mean by that? After the trial, Professor Harebrained was supposed to go straight back to Germany, I thought.
That's a letter to inform me of his safe arrival at home. I arranged his passage by sea and rail. It's a relief, I must say. He should now be beyond the reaches of the Reaper.
Because the Reaper doesn't follow people abroad, you mean?
Yes, so it seems. Your stooped little Nipponese friend, for example. You told me he was keeping well in Japan when I inquired the other day.
Yes, that's right. He's an author now, happily working in Tokyo. So Professor Harebrained is safely back in Germany now.
He is. So, it appears our conversation has run dry.
There was a 2-second silence, that's all.
Well, in any event, if you'll excuse me now, I wouldn't like to detain you.
I was wondering, Lord Von Zieks, if you'd like, I'd be happy to advocate for you.
You trust me, do you?
Yes. I've heard you speak many times in court. I've seen how you treat people. So I'm quite sure that you would never have taken another's life. It's just, my feelings can't be used as evidence in a court of law, sadly.
It's a very gracious offer. However, I trust no one.
What?
Not the police, not the judiciary, not you Nipponese.
But please.
I have no intention of engaging your services.
The chasm between us is just too wide and too deep, it seems.
I'd appreciate it if you don't visit again. And neither of us will waste any more time.
Perhaps we need to dig a little deeper. Find out more about Lord Von Zieks and what happened to Inspector Gregson.
Well, I guess we'll head back over here then. This is where Inspector Gregson was killed. We must investigate it once. Scene of the crime, a hidden room accessed from a small alley off Fresno Street in a quiet part of London. First of November, room on Fresno Street. Red wig.
This really is an out-of-the-way part of London. I doubt many people find their way down this back street. So this dust-ridden rented old room is where it happened then. So this is where poor Inspector Gregson lost his life. Yes, and the police are already hard at work investigating, it seems. I don't see Mr. Sholmes anywhere, though. Perhaps his investigations have taken him elsewhere.
Holy, what do you think you're doing here? Doing that? Every one of them drawers has got to be taken right out so you can look underneath and all. I want the space above the ceiling checked. And don't forget to look inside the chimney stack, too. Blimey, ain't you lot ever gone over a house looking for dough when the owners are out of town?
Gina's obviously got some unique investigative techniques she wants everyone to adopt.
Oh, so you've turned up at last. Mind you, I ain't been along myself.
Hello again, Gina.
Sholmes has only just left. You're lucky you missed that. He went prancing around in here, pointing at stuff and flicking that out of his, and then just scarpered.
Oh, he's finished investigating already, you mean?
Yeah, he didn't stop to say nothing to no one, not even me.
Gina, would you mind if we investigated too?
Listen, Odo. You're a lawyer, right?
Yes. Why?
Well, you're not thinking of trying to help that Reaper bloke, are you?
Oh, poor Gina. She's never going to forget, is she? That trial will haunt her forever. Gina, if you don't mind me saying, if Lord Von Zieks really is responsible for this crime, he will be duly and fairly judged in court.
I suppose you're right, yeah. Go on then, Odo. Get investigating. I want to know the truth about what really happened to you.
Thank you, Gina.
Anything you can tell us so far?
Gina, what was Inspector Gregson doing here in the first place?
That's what I want to know. It's what, half a year since I got out of the clink? That's when I decided to give up on me diving and become a detective instead.
Oh, yes, Mr. Sholmes twisted the inspector's arm to agree to take you on as an apprentice, didn't he?
Something like that, I think. Anyway, the point is, I didn't really know much about the boss till then. But turns out, he's a bit of a legend at the Yard.
Goodness, really?
They say he managed to solve some really tricky case, just like that.
He did?
Yep, and ever since then, he started going out on all sorts of investigations, but always on his own. No one else at the Yard even knows what half the cases he's working on are, apparently.
That's not how it's supposed to work, is it?
Terrible chair. Moving around.
So what was the legendary inspector doing in a dingy little room like this?
I know he had a lot of respect for the Reaper and all. Look where it landed him.
Respect for the Reaper? In what way?
I heard him say as much. I take my hat off to that fella, those words.
Well, how the general public feels is it. Most people are terrified of the Reaper.
Yeah, the boss said that's exactly why I respected the bloke.
I didn't realize Gregson held the Reaper in quite such high regard.
He said something else to me and all. And I didn't need to worry about the Reaper, because he only goes after people what are bad. It did kind of set my mind at ease when he said that.
Right. What is this place then? Does anyone live here?
Apparently it's being rented by some cove called Hugh Boone.
Hugh Boone. It's a sort of here today, gone tomorrow name. That isn't it?
Yeah, he's what we call an unidentified person. I haven't been able to get in touch with him.
I see. Well, judging from appearances, I'd have to say this place hasn't been lived in for a long time, if ever.
Right? All the lads from the yard piled down to get stuck into the investigation. But there's so little here, no one knew what to do with themselves.
I do wonder.
Yes, Mrs. Sato?
Well, could it be that this Hugh Bone is in fact Inspector Gregson himself?
What? How can that be?
Well, if he was investigating on his own, it's quite possible that this was in fact some kind of secret office of his.
I'd never even considered that. That's work, Suze. We're actually following a line of inquiry like that ourselves.
You are?
If you look around the room, you'll see there's a few things that hint at it.
Well, you should really investigate this place in detail.
I'm talking first.
I see, that's where the poor inspector was found, over there.
Yeah, that's right. I said it was a single bullet what did it, man. Apparently the bullet went right through him and struck the candle tray on the wall.
Oh, yes, it's blown one of the candles apart completely.
And the gun used there on the floor. It's a Reaper's, isn't it? No denying that.
What? Really? How do you know that?
Take it easy. I don't know what to do with myself when you stare at me with the big wide eyes. I'm only saying what I've heard. I don't know much about guns myself. Well, there's some big-win lawman or whoever said so. I don't ask him. Rifling marks? Is that what you're going for?
A bigwig lawman, is it?
Anyway, Fresno Street runs along under that window there. And there were some street sellers just outside who had the gunshot.
Oh, but I don't recall seeing anybody outside.
Yeah, they've all been taken down to the yard for question, that's why. Talk about the yard's legendary inspector, yeah, after all. I'll be getting a grilling.
You think we might be able to speak with those street sellers ourselves?
I doubt it. The lads at the yard will just want to know what you're snooping for, and you'll be up for a grill and all that.
So we can't interview the witnesses then. Shame.
Alright, let's take a look around. We have a big board here.
This looks like some sort of notice board or something. And it's absolutely covered in scraps of paper. Ah, Mr. Naruto, look! You mean it's an autopsy report, isn't it? And these are case notes here, and details of prison inmates. Yes, in fact, they're all the sorts of documents that only a detective could normally acquire. What on earth went on in this room? Some old newspaper cuttings. Ah, and this one here. Oh, yes, the advertisement, you mean. To the Red-Headed League. But why? What's that doing here? Whoever occupied this room was clearly interested in it for some reason.
You have a picture?
Oh, it's a photograph stand. I suppose it must be a picture of one of Inspector Gregson's family members. Ah. What's the matter? Your eyes look like they're about to pop out of your head. They are! Look! Mr. Naruto, quickly!
Oh.
Why do I feel like this woman is familiar somehow?
I mean,
of course she's familiar. We met her only this morning.
why would he have a picture of her?
Ah, it's... Mrs. Vigil. This makes no sense. Why would there be a picture of Mrs. Vigil in here?
Oh, my phone. It's in my pocket. There's a hole in my pocket into the inside of my coat.
And to be frank, I don't think I've ever been more stumped. I'm sorry to say, I have no idea either.
Framed photograph has been entered into the court record. Photographic print of a smiling Mrs. Vigil in her younger years was found on a desk at the scene of the crime. Huh. What are these turned around for? Nothing? Okay, cool.
An empty fireplace makes a room feel even colder than it would be otherwise, doesn't it? It's thick with dust, look. I think it would be fair to say that it hasn't been used in a very long time. In other words, whoever lived in this room must have been extremely hardy in cold weather. Or nobody lived here at all, and merely visited when the occasion arose. I wouldn't like to say which is more likely. No, that's right. It's one or the other.
A little stool? Nope. Oh, we can talk to this guy.
Excuse me.
Oh, Inspector. Oh, sir.
Poor man. He can't possibly be able to focus on investigating when he's so upset.
We have a door. Window above the door. Pipes. Let's look at this thing.
The top of one of the candles in this candle holder has been completely blown off. Yes, there's wax spattered on the wall behind, look. I suppose if a bullet had hit it, it does seem likely that the bullet hit the candle, having first passed through the inspector's body. Ugh, now that wax on the wall looks like blood to me.
Candelabrum has been entered into the court record. The other two were burnt. Or they left burning. Before it was afterwards, maybe. Candelabrum from the wall of the room on Fresno Street where the inspector was found dead. The top of one of the candles appears to have been blown off. Really bad window here.
Somebody's very haphazardly nailed those boards over the broken glass, haven't they? You couldn't even really call it a window anymore. Well, if you remember the window in Mr. Natsume's room, it was totally blocked up with bricks. That was totally blocked up with bricks. This one does at least let some light in, so you could say nothing more about it. I'm starting to feel even more sorry for Mr. Natsume now. Excuse me.
If you're looking down on us from the right beyond, Inspector, don't worry. We'll look after things at the yard.
I've interrupted some deep thoughts there.
There's glass on the floor. It doesn't matter. Little doll?
Excuse me.
Sorry, sir. Can't see things. Too many tears.
Right. Perhaps I'd better leave you to your work then.
Little doll.
Oh, what's this? It would appear to be a little model policeman. It's rather charming, isn't it? In a way. Seeing as it's on the floor here, do you think it belonged to Inspector Gregson? It's a little hard to imagine Lord Von Zieks playing with something like this. It's only about 8 centimeters tall. It could have fallen out of somebody's pocket, I suppose. I think we should record it as evidence, just in case. Yes, I agree. It is rather delightful after all, in a way.
Police figurine has been entered into the court record. A small and rather endearing model of a British policeman found at the scene of crime on Fresno Street.
This is presumably the murder weapon then.
Got a little ring at the end of the handle.
Oh my. Is it real? It is real, I suppose. I think so. Guns are so rare in Japan, I really know very little about them. There's one way to know for sure, Mr. Naruhodo. Fire a shot. No. If I did that, I'd be looking for a skilled lawyer to represent me in court. Slightly safer to just ask someone who I know, I think.
Killer's revolver has been entered into the court record. The murder weapon was found at the scene of the crime on Fresno Street. Probably best to avoid handling it.
So, I suppose this is where the victim... That's right, the rope is laid around the body to show exactly how it was found. Poor Inspector Gregson himself has already been taken away. And would probably be under Dr. Sight's scalpel by now, if not for what happened last week. From the shape of the rope, it would appear that the inspector was curled up in a ball. Are you feeling alright, Mr. Naruhodo? You look like you've just seen a ghost. I know it's just a rope, but, well, it conjures up quite a terrifying image, that's all. Especially with that blood stain next to it. Oh, I do understand. In some ways, what we picture in our minds can be even worse than reality. Sato-san is so strong, though. She's taking this far better than I am. Ever since we came in here, I can't take my eyes off this thing. Oh, funnily enough, neither can I. It's a hairpiece, isn't it? It is! A bright red hairpiece. And I suppose the fact that it's right there next to where the body was found means we have to accept that Inspector Gregson wore wigs, does it? And it's such a flame-colored red, too. Yes, that's a color we've come across very recently elsewhere, isn't it? Exactly! This is a vital clue, I'm sure of it.
Red hairpiece has been entered into the court record. Flame red wig found on the scene of the crime on Fresno Street. Presumably it belonged to Inspector Gregson. Anything else to look at in here? I think that might be everything. I'm not seeing anything else. Let's look at these objects. Alright, we have a picture.
Professor Mikoto has wonderful handwriting, doesn't he? This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy. Is it just me, or does that make me sound extremely untrustworthy? I do wish he'd at least called you a nice young man. I'm really not sure that would help.
One at the edge here. Oh, Blackbird line. It's a ferry ticket.
Oh, it looks like this is some sort of steamship ticket. The SS Grouse, first class cabin 001. Yokohama departure, 11th of September. London arrival, 1st of November. Ah, that's the boat Professor Mikoto and Judge Jigoku came on from Japan, isn't it? Yes, I think it's called at Dunkirk on the north coast of France for a night before finally arriving in Dover. To think it's been almost a year since we arrived in Dover on the SS Bludia. Seems a shame not to keep your ticket as a memento of your trip, don't you think? Yes, I agree. I have mine safely in my diary. And I keep mine in my wallet, so I have it with me at all times. Oh, well, how strange. Where could it have gone? Are you like this on purpose, Mr. Naruhodo? Did I imagine it, or was that comment accompanied by a little sigh?
Details of the letter of introduction have been updated in the court record. Okay, it's written on the back of a ticket for passage on a steamship. Okay. Dismissal notice. Let's see. Notice of dismissal, 25th of June. Chief Warder Daily Vigil is relieved of his post with immediate effect for having violated Clause 132 of Her Majesty's Code of Conduct for Prisons. All rights to redundancy pay and other financial benefits are fully revoked. Reasons for dismissal: aiding and abetting the escape from this prison of convict. Censored just prior to his execution. Details of this escape are still being investigated. Full cooperation with inquiries will be expected. Prison Governor Barry Kaiden. Additional notes: indications that the jailbreak plot was conceived prior to the convict's incarceration. It's believed that the convict engaged in some form of negotiation with prison staff in order to secure assistance. Full disclosure of information regarding these negotiations will be demanded. This is just a picture.
There are some black marks here, look. Yes, they look like some sort of scorch marks. So perhaps the bullet struck the candle here, do you think? It's only this one candle that's been cracked in half, it seems. Yes, I think you might be right. Firearms are rarely used by criminals in Japan, so I'm afraid I'm not particularly knowledgeable about them.
The other ones were burned down.
The helmet of this charming policeman appears to be a little worse for wear. I'm not convinced about the charming part, but yes, you're right. The head part looks like it's been fairly heavily manhandled. Almost as if somebody has enjoyed twisting it around and around for fun. Shall we try twisting it around and around too? For fun. Oh. But what's that? It appears to be some sort of key. Is it? I can't see it past his shoulder. And it's tiny, though. It couldn't be a key for a door, not at that size. So what is it for, I wonder?
Details of the policeman figurine have been updated in the court record. Giving it a twist causes a key-like shaft to pop out from the base. Yeah, it's not very distinctive either. Maybe it's just like for winding a clock or something.
This looks like some sort of key. Yes, it does. Very tiny and simple key. What's a little key doing inside a figurine of a policeman in the first place? And what's it for?
Oh, I guess that's all to it. Let's look at a gun. What is this ring on the bottom?
I suppose this must have been the murder weapon. Oh my, it is real, I suppose. I think so. Guns are so rare in Japan, I really know very little about them. Perhaps someone more familiar with firearms could shed a light on things here.
Okay, I see. So it's just some scratches on the barrel. Sure is a wig. It's got an underside here.
I've always wondered what the underside of a hairpiece looks like. That doesn't surprise me at all, Mr. Naruhodo. You always want to see what lies beneath, don't you? I'm not sure that's quite how I'd put it. You must have to use lots of bird lime to keep it in place on your head. What is bird lime? I suppose in this case you're referring to it being sticky, but it sounds unpleasant. So it doesn't get blown off in a gust of wind, I mean. That might be a little inconvenient when you wanted to take it off again, don't you think?
It's got some loops there. Are they for hanging it or for like, wrapping it around your ears or something? I suppose we can show you this key. Maybe you know what it's for. This is a key.
Gina, what do you make of this?
What's that? What is that? Evidence? Work something out about what happened, have you?
Oh, no, not exactly.
I ain't been long enough in the job to get all this deducting business yet. But I swear I'm gonna get the person who did this to the boss.
Okay. You probably don't know much about guns. I think you said as much. Well, I suppose maybe we'll go then and talk to someone else. You there. You're definitely the person who was talking about the checking the guns better. 1st of November, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. You've made good time. Took an express train back to London. What's this?
I can hear Lord Strongheart. Can you? Yes, it sounds as though he's talking to someone.
Oh. Is everything in place? I had a private compartment on the train so I could check all the paperwork. You're not supposed to be British.
It's Kazuma-sama.
Ah, your timing is impeccable. Why do you just have birds in here? This seems like a bad place for birds.
It is.
No doubt you've heard the sickening news about the Reaper's latest devilry.
Yes. I'm sure you don't believe it, of course, though, Lord Strongheart. That Lord Von Zieks could have done such a thing to Inspector Gregson.
I believe only in the facts. The facts in this case point to one thing. The unavoidable accusal of Lord Von Zieks for this crime. We must bring charges against the Reaper for taking the life of our legendary detective.
Oh, no, surely not.
It's a truly regrettable situation. Tomorrow, the forensic science synopsium finally begins. At the very least, though, we could show the world our justice system's swift and equitable process.
So, does that mean the trial is tomorrow?
Precisely. In fact, this is a fine opportunity for introductions.
Kazuma.
But of course, you're already acquainted, aren't you? Master Asugi here will be present at tomorrow's proceedings, leading the prosecution.
Wait, what? Kazuma?
As I'm sure you're aware, he's a very capable practitioner of law.
Kazuma-sama, a prosecutor? Standing back there.
am going to be right back. I need to use the bathroom, and while I'm up, I'll also refill my water. I will return. And then we will get back to it. This door. The cat has come in. I'm not going to hang out with you. I'm going to sit here. Aren't you the prettiest little boy? The other little boy is out there screaming. He loves to yell. Okay. Took off the thing. Put the game back on. Alright. Yeah, we didn't talk to him yet. So, how's, the everything? I'm sure you can imagine that tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. In fact, no. People all over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds.
There's no salvation for anyone in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper of the Bailey. And now, the Reaper himself must stand in the dock.
Quite so. The public wants answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escaped conviction subsequently died mysterious deaths.
But Lord Von Zieks firmly denies any involvement in such matters. And there have been thorough investigations that have proven him to be innocent.
That's certainly true. Or has been, at least, until now. No. Tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's great judicial history.
So, Cosima will be prosecuting tomorrow?
That's right.
But he's a defense lawyer, Lord Strongheart.
Accomplished young law practitioners cannot pick and choose their roles. Imagine what it will mean for the prosecution to know the strategies commonly employed by the defense. A devastating combination, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. I've no doubt at all that Cosima will be razor sharp as a prosecutor. But why Cosima-sama?
He's got 2 swords now.
There are surely many other highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain.
It was a personal request. I asked to be assigned to the trial.
You asked for this? But why?
It'll all become clear tomorrow. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you? Although, the Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation.
I'm surprised such a personal request would have been upheld. It seems unprecedented. Quite exceptional, in fact.
You are quite right, Miss Mikotoba. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. After all, the accused is one of Britain's greatest prosecutors, the pride of the Empire. It would be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as the judiciary closing ranks.
So that's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution.
Ryunosuke, let's see how your skills have been honed after practicing law in this land for so many months. You took off the headband from the thing, but you haven't put it on.
Cosima, I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me now. This isn't going to end well, my friend. Oh, yes, we noticed that there was a gun at the scene of Inspector Gregson's death. Do you know if it belongs to Lord Von Zieks?
That would be a question for the lead detective investigating the scene.
Well, the thing is, she wasn't sure, so she told me I should ask somebody higher up who might know. That's right, Mr. Naruhodo. Be direct.
It's certainly a model that's issued to all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. Which includes prosecutors, as I'm sure you can imagine.
In that case, it could actually belong to the victim.
No, Gregson had his gun on his person.
What about Lord Von Zeke's?
He claims it's currently not in his possession.
What?
According to his story, he lost it. In short, it's more than a little suspicious.
But just because the gun in question is the same type as the defendant's is no proof that it's actually his.
No, of course not.
Nevertheless, the situation is grave for Lord Von Zeke's.
Anything here we need to ask you about?
Could I show you this, Lord Strongheart?
I'm the Lord Chief Justice, not here to offer advice about evidence.
Oh,
Especially when the evidence in question is so dull.
so that's the real reason.
Okay, well... Hey. Yeah, he's just standing there. Hey, how are you, doing? I'm sorry for all the worry I've caused you, but it'll be alright now.
Has your memory completely returned?
Yes, completely. I remember everything. Including what I was coming here to do.
Right.
Zuko, will you stop?
Kazuma-sama. I can't tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. But how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia?
It was the voice. This past year, I've been hearing it in my head constantly, saying the same thing over and over. Go to London. That's where your destiny awaits. It was that voice that guided me here to London.
I'm so sorry for what's happened.
Anyway, my memory might have returned to me. There's something that won't return to the way it was before.
Uh-huh. What do you mean?
I'm a prosecutor now, so I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon.
It doesn't look like we're going to be able to glean much more here. Well, thank you very much, Lord Strongheart.
Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our Empire's history. Stop scratching my chair, kitty cat. Don't do these things. There's much you could learn from the public gallery.
Sorry to have taken up so much of your time. We'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
Oh.
Before you go, Ryunosuke,
Oh, what is it, Kazuma?
I just wanted to thank you.
Kazuma-sama, what?
You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my stead. You carried out my role to perfection.
You always were intent on studying British law in order to change our own justice system. It was your dream, and Mr. Naruhodo didn't want that to die with you.
Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here.
Oh,
I actually have a favor to ask.
which is?
This trial that I'll be prosecuting tomorrow. I'd like you to be there to see how it ends. Right in front of me is the defense council.
Why? What's this all about?
I know you have what it takes.
But Lord Von Zieks would never put his fate in my hands.
On the contrary, he recognizes your talent.
He does.
It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this.
That's
Lord Von Zieks.
That's Lord Von Zieks and Inspector Gregson. In a photograph that must have been taken some time ago by the look of it.
And someone else. The brother, perhaps.
And who is the third person?
It was displayed very prominently in the detective's office.
In Gregson's office, you mean?
Yes. What I'm trying to say is, I really think you can trust the Reaper. You might find that some straight talking makes him take a different view. Take it. Gregson's photograph's been entered into the court record. An old photographic print displayed rather prominently in Inspector Gregson's office, as if it was a treasured memory.
I don't understand. Why are you giving me this?
Just hurry, Ryunosuke. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over.
What are you doing, Kazuma?
Well, I guess we'll head over there. That's the wrong place. I saw a prison and didn't pay attention to the other words.
1st of November,
Local prison cell 1.
Lord Von Zieks is still reading that letter. We've been gone quite some time, though. Either he's an incredibly slow reader, or it's an incredibly long letter. I might even be able to read English faster than he can.
I was intending to ignore you entirely. But I can't turn a deaf ear to such an insulting Nipponese.
Oh, sorry. I didn't think you'd hear that.
I had the case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time.
Yes, we heard that your trial is set for tomorrow.
Which is none of your business.
So, have you found a lawyer?
How many times must I reiterate the same thing? This has nothing to do with you.
In other words, no. We were just talking to Lord Strongheart, and the prosecutor for your trial has been decided.
I'd expect nothing less. I have no idea who it is.
It's going to be Kazuma Asuki.
Asuki.
That made the color drain from his face.
Well then. Seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all.
Eh.
10 years ago, my older brother, who was the director of prosecutions at the time, was murdered. And the killer, as you know, was a visiting student from the Far East. Not a single day goes by I don't curse the name Asuki.
Genshin Asuki was Kazuma-sama's father.
So what cruel twist of fate is this now, 10 years later? The man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court.
I still don't understand why Lord Strongheart apprenticed Kazuma to you. Oh, that was the wrong... I still don't understand why Lord Strongheart apprenticed Cosimo to you.
It's what he does. No doubt he knew of the young man's true identity from the outset.
But what could he have been hoping to achieve? And let's not forget that it was only 8 days ago that Cosimo recovered from his amnesia. Why would Lord Strongheart assign this trial to somebody like that?
Asugi. That name is the very epitome of my bane. Bane that is you Nipponese.
Right, your hatred of all us Japanese.
If I'd only just been appointed as prosecutor when it happened 10 years ago. My brother, Clint, the director of prosecutions, was hunting down a mass murderer.
The so-called professor.
Assigned to the investigation as his partner was a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard.
And that was Genshin Asugi.
Exactly. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous in the extreme to me. But none of us saw the true nature of the man. So I lost everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in, and any semblance of right prevailing over wrong.
Oh, how awful.
To avenge my brother, I prosecuted Asugi's trial. He wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I beleaguered the ascribed prosecutor until he consented.
What do you mean by the ascribed prosecutor?
The man in charge of the Professor Case inquiry, Lord Mael Strongheart.
Wait, what? Lord Strongheart?
He was a highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he's the one person to whom I've felt indebted.
I'm sure he must have seen your zeal for the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor.
Anyway, time passed. But then, earlier this year, who should arrive in London but you? And, of all things, as a lawyer.
I felt your animosity the first time I ever faced you in the courtroom. Your obvious, deep loathing of us Japanese.
I kept telling myself it was illogical. For so many years, that hatred had festered inside me. I could no longer control it.
And I can understand why. Now I know the history.
But in the same way that I've long felt the Nipponese to be the bane of my life, to Kazuma Asugi, I am the bane of his. The Reaper sent his father to the gallows. He's looking for revenge, and he intends to take it in court tomorrow. Erikson's transfer to the Paris Police Prefecture had finally been arranged for the coming month. But I'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy.
Oh, yes, come to think of it, he did mention something about that, didn't he? I wonder, does it happen often, being transferred internationally, I mean?
It's the first time I've ever encountered it.
Oh.
Paris police welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. Can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to put that arrangement in place.
It sounds like that mystery has even the Reaper perplexed. I'm afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. We hear that he was considered something of a legend at Scotland Yard.
Again, it was 10 years ago that he first made a name for himself, by uncovering a decisive piece of evidence that exposed the professor's identity. If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach to the case, the discovery would never have been made.
What sort of approach?
After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for a full autopsy.
Oh my, 10 years ago. Why is that so surprising?
Autopsy was considered a desecration of the body at the time, and rarely performed. My brother was, of course, a noble, and made the idea of it even more unthinkable. Something Gregson had dug up in his investigation made him determined it was necessary. His powerful conviction somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother's death.
So, you must have had great confidence in the inspector's abilities then. And it's even more inconceivable that you would have taken his life.
I don't have confidence in anyone.
Oh,
And I'm sure Gregson felt the same way. No doubt he thought of me only as the ominous Reaper, just like the rest of London.
what really went on between Lord Von Zieks and Gregson, I wonder? What was the true nature of their relationship? About the gun used to shoot the inspector that was found at the scene.
Ah, yes. That's not mine. That's not mine.
Really? Because common opinion seems to be that it is.
What do you expect me to say to that?
Lord Strongheart informs us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm.
As embarrassing as that is, I'm afraid it's true.
When did you lose it then?
That I don't know.
Oh,
It was issued with a revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stowed it somewhere, I suppose, or left it somewhere, perhaps.
you have something in common with Lord Von Zieks after all, Mr. Naruto. A talent for misplacing things. No, this has nothing to do with me. Don't drag me into it.
Don't make the mistake of associating me with Nipponese.
Oh dear, the rift is very wide, isn't it? So it's not decisive evidence, clearly. But it doesn't look good, that's for sure.
I have a picture here. You're in it.
Lord Von Zieks, we came by this old photograph.
Where did you get that? It was taken when I became a qualified prosecutor. It's almost unbelievable. I assumed it was long lost.
Is the man on the left there?
Yes, that's my brother, Clint. Details of Gregson's photograph have been updated in the court record. The person on the left is Lord Clint Von Zieks.
It had to be, really. Apparently, this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know. Were you aware of that?
Respect? That's nonsense.
No, we've heard someone attest to it very clearly. Inspector Gino Lestrade, no less.
Well, Maybe once, yes. There was a time things were like that. We were brothers in arms, jovially discussing the future of justice and other such lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past. Thank you.
I feel as though I got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. There was a glimmer of light in his eyes, a brief twinkle, an insight into the true nature of this man, known to all as the stone-cold Reaper of the Bailey.
Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, that's the first time he's ever used my actual name.
I've lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the judiciary, or lawyers. There's still one thing I'm willing to believe in.
What's that?
That which you see in the eyes of another across the courtroom. A simple determination to know the truth.
Lord Von Zeeks.
From the very first time we clashed in the Bailey almost a year ago now. I couldn't deny it, even though I dearly wished I could. Here is a loathsome Nipponese who has absolute integrity as a lawyer. There are only two other men I've known with that same look in their eyes. My brother, Clint, and Genshin Hasuki.
The man he idolized. The man who betrayed his trust in the most hideous way.
Hi, Zuko. When you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me.
You mean this photograph?
Back then, I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plague me now. Hello, Kitty. What do you want? I looked to the future with hope. Since then, I've protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. But at times, mire into which I've sunk makes it almost impossible to breathe.
I'm so sorry.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, will you advocate for me?
Of course I will. It would be an honor. I'm so pleased, Mr. Naruhodo.
And my life is in your hands.
For Lord Von Zeeks. That must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask. Which is why I simply cannot let the man down. Tomorrow, in the Old Bailey, against my old friend Cosma.
I suppose I could have waited out that last like half hour and not taken that short break, but you know. Obviously can't get into the trial yet. Almost 10:30. Trial's gonna take a while, presumably. So that's all for now. Hopefully that's not audible. Anyway. That's good for now. On Wednesday! I honestly don't know what I'm... Oh, wait. It's Friday, so I don't have to worry about that quite yet. I I will have a decision about that on Monday then. About if I'm doing more Ace Attorney on Wednesday or if I'm finding another thing. Oh well, but on Monday I'll be back with more Ace Attorney. We'll get into the trial, we'll see what's going on. We'll get to see Cosmo. I won't have to do quite as much of British accent voicing. It will be lovely. That's all for now though. Have a nice day. Goodbye.